Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. I, as always, am your humble host, Van Ebert. And yes, we are going to do a little Bible thumping tonight. So, yes, we are going to get into the good book but in a psychotic way, okay? In a holy horror movie, a holy, oh my God, horror movie way, okay? So, as weird as that sounds, because we're going to talk about Heretic tonight, the new Hugh Grant horror movie here. So yes, he is no longer going to 4 weddings and a funeral or hanging out with Julia Roberts on Notting Hill. No, he's scaring the ever-living shit out of some Mormon missionary women there. So yeah, he's not playing very nice at all. But before we get into that here, let's do this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we get into this Heretic edition of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. And as always, this is your chance to talk in depth about the movie of the week here. In this case, it happens to be Heretic with Hugh Grant. So if you've seen Heretic, or, you're just feeling spicy and, industrious and risk-averse, and you just want to talk about a movie that you haven't seen before, by all means, I don't know how much you're going to be able to contribute to the conversation, but by all means, hey, I admire your efforts. That for effort. There you go. But real quick, I just want to welcome my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You guys know who you are. And so real quick here, just to let you guys know, you guys can also live chat with me on Rumble or YouTube. And we already have some live chat business here. We got we got Lindy Rig 87 here in the live chat here. And he is he's there in the bleachers cheered me on. Man, lost my breath right there. Apparently got some asthma or something like that. Is somebody want to give me my inhaler? There we go. What the hell? And I stopped smoking Marlboros like 20 years ago. Come on. But yeah, so getting the live chat here, because you can live chat with me about Heretic or about any other kind of holy horror movies, scary movies, that you've seen, or any movie really for that purpose. I'm in no position to be like limiting people on what they could live chat to me and whatnot. Now, I might not understand a whole lot of it, or all of it right there, but you might stumble me right there, and I know that that
that's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Yeah, I know. Fascinating right there. But all right, let's get into Heretic, shall we? Here, because that's what we are here to get into. All right, so that's what we are here to conduct business about here, and so about Heretic here, I wouldn't say it's as heretical, hence the title of the movie. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's as heretical as something like the Da Vinci Code. It just portrays Hugh Grant as that pretentious, actually, person we've all encountered in life, right? The person that thinks their profound rantings are God's gift to the world. It's either your Uncle Lester at Thanksgiving, or it's a pretentious hipster named Trevor in college or something like that, or it's some twit that just came home from college, and her black turtlenecked professor has got her brainwashed and indoctrinated with a bunch of commie crap. They come home, and you're just, hey, you're just looking forward to your daughter coming home from college, and hey, honey, hey, hey, lovely, welcome home. Glad you're home from college. Here, come on, get your dad a hug right there. Hey, honey, have you heard about this? Well, actually, Dad, the world could use a little truth about this. Okay, the misogyny that you're showing right now is part of the patriarchy. It, so they just start going off and whatnot. So we just know those kind of people, right? It's like they kind of had that attitude, like you are so lucky to be breathing the same oxygen as I am. You're so lucky, right? And so that's kind of Hugh Grant's character in this. Mr. Reed is his character, and he attempts to poke holes in Christianity. Now, not religion as a whole, just Christianity, really, because then he'd have to touch on Islam, and you don't see a whole lot of people poking holes in Islam right there, because people know those guys will friggin' they'll crash jetliners into your skyscrapers. All right, they'll suicide bomb your cafe. All right, they'll come up there and stab you on the street. Those guys, you don't screw around with those guys right there. Now Christians are like, turn the other cheek. Jesus would want us to be nice. Everyone could just shit all over us and talk crap about us, and we'll just take it because Jesus would want us to be nice and be pushovers, So the atheists and agnostics and whoever else wants to give Christianity a bunch of crap, they know that. So Christianity is an easy target because they know Christians are going to go running into a restaurant going, oh, no, Akbar, and then detonate an S-fest, right? They know that's not going to happen, right? And so they're like, well, hey, I mean, Christianity, they're just gonna take our crap now. Muhammad over there, the Muslim, no, he won't. So stay away from Islam right there. Like, don't disrespect Islam whatsoever. So that's why in this movie, Mr. Reed, he's not trying to poke holes in religion as a whole. He's trying to poke holes in Christianity, and he's using artifacts. Like he's got artwork with representations, like art representations of messiahs and that kind of thing from various religions. And then he's got board games. Okay, so he uses Monopoly as a prop, the board game Monopoly as a prop, and then he couples that with another board game called the Landlord's Game. And his lesson is that the Landlord's Game came out before Monopoly, and if you open up the Landlord's Game, you open up the board game, a lot of it looks very similar to Monopoly, and somebody went and stole the Landlord's Game idea and then marketed it as Monopoly and made a little change here or there and that kind of thing. But Monopoly obviously, became a much bigger thing than the Landlord's Game, and then the creator of the Landlord's Game, a woman, she ended up dying penniless, and so he's using that as an analogy that, okay, just like we've got Jesus, he's born on December 25th, not really, but that's the widespread belief. Well, you got other religions, that believe that before Christianity, and now Christianity is kind of like the guy who created Monopoly by stealing the Landlord's Game idea, right? So it's basically just his way of making his little pretentious point that Christianity is stolen, and riding the coattails of other religions, and so it's, as a result, it's fake and whatnot. So, and that's what he's using he's using those as props here to make a point. He's basically having a TED talk for a large part of this movie, Heretic, right there. Now, the movie never really shows him sticking the landing on disproving Christianity. And I gotta say, the good sisters, the Mormon missionaries there, Sister Paxton and Sister Barnes, who are our protagonists there. Well, I don't know why I'm putting on air quotes. They are our protagonists, but they're the victims. So they do land a punch here and there on him for the side of Christianity and Mormonism and all that. Whereas the Da Vinci Code, which I think is a more heretical movie based off the Dan Brown novel, that one is more heretical because the Da Vinci Code just outright says, that Bible thing you guys like, that big thick Bible thing. You go to the hotel, the motel, and there's one of them like in the nightstand one night all the time, and says the Gideons and all that stuff like. Well, that old Bible thing. Well, it's been lying to you about a pretty big thing involving Jesus. Okay, so what do you know? This was true about him, and the Bible didn't mention it, and so that's the Da Vinci Code. And now, as heretical as some might think the Da Vinci Code is, it is a interesting book. Book is much better than the movie, but Heretic is not. Even though the name of the movie is Heretic, it's not as heretical as the Da Vinci Code. I think the title of Heretic for the movie is just referring to this Mr. Reed, where he is, in what he does in the movie, he's distorting and warping teachings and parables and lessons and events in the Bible, because he's got the women that he's keeping in the cages, and he uses them as, he calls them prophets, and he uses his prophets to fake miracles, and he uses them as these women, these poor women that he's captured and has them just trapped in these cages and whatnot. He's using them as props to try to disprove religion and show that, hey, you know what, a miracle can be faked and it's not real and that kind of thing, because he brings out the first prophet, and the first prophet is like, it's very scary looking imagery. It's like, it's just this woman that has obviously been kept in this cage as a prisoner for, I'm guessing, years and years and years, and she's just, I'm sure, mentally broke down. And kind of like, remember Reek from Game of Thrones? Reek, they're kind of like that, where he's completely broken down, has no sense of self. He's just under the thumb of a tyrannical master and that kind of thing. Well, that's what these women are in Heretic, and so they're misshapen, they're malnourished, they look gross, and they probably haven't bathed in years and that kind of thing. They probably smell something awful. And you see the first prophet, and that's one of these women there, and it looks very scary. You're like, ooh, boy, is this going to the supernatural? Is this a demon from beyond or something? Who knows? And so that he feeds the prophet the blueberry pie that he's poisoned to kill the prophet, right? And then he's telling the missionaries, like, hey, this, you're about to see a miracle. Okay, the prophet, she's about to eat the blueberry pie, and I have poisoned it, but fear not, she's going to die, but she's going to come back. It's going to be a miracle, and she's going to tell us what she sees on the other side. And then Mr. Reed, Hugh Grant's character, tells the missionary women, like, hey, take notes, make sure you let me know exactly what she says she saw from the other side. And then, but the prophet, the second prophet, so it's prophet number 2, but the missionary girls don't know that yet, because they pulled the old switcheroo on him. So the second prophet is the one that comes out and pretends to be the prophet that is, resurrected, but not really. And is supposed to feed the missionary women this line of bull, like, well, when I was over on the other side, I saw this light, and then it went dark, and then I saw my blah blah blah, and that kind of thing. And that's why this movie is referring to Mr. Reed as the heretic, because a heretic would do stuff like this, right, where it would try to deceive people to think that there's a miracle in order to, after that's all done, go, ha ha, I tricked you. You guys are suckers. It wasn't a miracle at all. I was just tricking you. That's another lady. I killed that first prophet, and then the second prophet is a different lady, and you bought it. Ha ha ha. It's kind of that way. So that's why he's a heretic in this movie right there. So the guy's really a piece of shit, basically, is what he is. So that is what is going on with that right there. And Lady Ring. Oh, damn. I thought this was Hairy Tits. No. That would be, it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Barbarian, which a lot of people say Heretic has borrowed some from, but there's some hairy tits in the movie Barbarian right there, and it's very, very gross. And we got Channel 2 Action News. Thank you for joining us tonight, Channel 2 Action News right there. So he's got some breaking news here. Snap. That's what I'm talking about, boy. Yeah, there you go. Welcome to the Hillsy. Here, movies, Merica, spoiler warning is what we're all up into tonight. So good to see you guys. And and if you haven't seen Heretic and you're listening to my description right there, the movie probably sounds pretty jacked up, and there are some jacked up parts to it, but it's interesting enough to hold your attention. But at least the first time you've seen it, and I'm speaking for myself because I don't see myself watching this again, because the trick, or what makes this movie good, is that you don't know what's going to happen. All right, there's some movies you can watch over and over again, like Top Gun Maverick or something like that, right? Or Aliens. Like, you know exactly what's going to happen in that movie, but you can watch it over and over and over again. All right, it's not, its quality isn't built on surprise and suspense and that kind of thing, whereas Heretic is, okay, that's its bread and butter. That's its value, is like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? What's behind that door? What's behind that door? What's going on? What's his plan? What's he going to do? What's he up to? Well, if you've seen a movie, you know all that stuff, so it's not really any intrinsic value in watching the movie again there. So, all right, well, let's do this real quick here, and let me tell you all about something that you guys need to know all about, and that would be our tdpn.locals.com website right up there. And if you're the inquisitive sort, you may be asking right now, what exactly is tdpn.locals.com? Well, that is our Till Death Podcast Network website, where we have all kinds of fantastic content, like videos about movies and entertainment, blogs, articles, so about movies and entertainment, politics, hot button topics, sizzling, water cooler talk, that kind of thing, all the stuff that people are talking about. Okay, so I don't know if people still talk around water coolers. Is that a thing? Chat, is that still a thing? People talking around water coolers? I don't know. So, but we have articles about that kind of stuff. Booze recipes, cocktail recipes, that kind of thing. All right, and presented to you in a way you're not going to find on any other website right there. And as you see down below, if you put in promo code TDPN, you get 1 month free membership. Yep, that's right. I do not lie. Okay, you're going to get that 1 month free membership. That means you get carte blanche. All right, you've got free reign. Go crazy. All right, it's like a shopping spree at Toys R Us, if there was still a Toys R Us. Okay, if there's a shopping spree at KB Toys. Okay, KB Toys, that doesn't exist anymore either. Wow, our economy is doing really great, really great. There we go. Business is a booming here in this country. Yeah, it's all that to say is, you're gonna have a really good time, because you're gonna have like full access to everything on tdpn.locals.com. And then after that 1 free month, it's only a measly $3 a month to continue your free access, or your full access, your carte blanche access, where you're literally going to be sitting up in the VIP lounge of tdpn.locals.com, where all the the important people, all the beautiful people hang out right there. And it's only going to cost you $3 a month minimum. And then, if you want to donate more than that, by all means, okay. I mean, our economy, I'm sure, is going to be picking up here pretty quickly, given the election results we just got. And people are going to be have a little bit more cash to throw around, all right, that kind of thing. So I love it. But that is tdpn.locals.com. Check it out. All right. And real quick, if you guys would, smash that like button down there. Smash that like button right there. Okay, so smash it like it just made fun of your mama and said that your mama wears combat boots, all right? And then also hit that subscriber follow button down there if you haven't already. If you have already, don't do it, because it'll unsubscribe or unfollow you. And then hit the notification bell down there as well if you haven't done that already, again, if you hit it again and you've already hit it, then it'll start it won't notify you anymore, okay? And then real quick here, just in case you're not watching this episode live, if you're watching this in the future, I was going to do like the Conan in the year 2000, but we're way past that year. So, but yeah, if you're watching this in the future, first off, how you doing? Thanks for watching. And feel free to get in the comments down below. Okay, that's your chance. It's obviously too late for you to live chat with me on this episode because you're not watching it live. You're watching the recording. But you can kind of live chat with me. Not really. But by getting in the comments and let me know what did you think of the episode, and be honest. Okay, I can take brutal truth. Okay, or if you want to let me know, hey man, this show kicks ass. All right, Van Damme and Seagal got nothing on this show. It's just roundhouse kicking everything I've seen. Well, let me know that too. Okay, I love being buttered up. That's for sure. Okay, and like kind of like a Thanksgiving turkey. We got Thanksgiving coming up, but butter me up, throw some onions in me, and that sounded really weird and twisted. Never mind. All right, so but great to know that you guys are watching this show later on. If you're watching the recording, that's awesome. Again, thanks for watching. There, okay. All right, check out that live chat right there. And what do we got going on here in the live chat? We got look at that. We got I'm Sean Cab. I'm here. There we go. Don't forget me. I'm here. There you go. Everyone says hello. Everyone say hello. Sounds like a kindergarten or something like teachers like telling everybody say hello to everybody. Or like when you're at church, and the reverend's like, okay, everybody, shake hands with everybody around you and that kind of thing. Make sure to spread the COVID around. So, no, I'm kidding. Love it. All right, we got to see right there, and yep, right there, Lindy Rig 87. He nailed that. It's mostly just dudes being gay in here. Yes, what I'm talking about. Yes. All right, yeah, because Anderson Cooper, I'm sure he's going to show up here pretty soon. Right there, and I'm Sean Cab. Yes. Rest in peace, Jeffrey the Giraffe there. So Toys R Us kids, I guess, had to go out and, I don't know. Toys R Us kids are no more. That's for sure. Gotta love it. And Lindy Ray 87, like the way you think. Mushroom stamp the like there. So mushrooms. It's making me think about pizza with some mushrooms on there and maybe some sausage and some black olives and some onions and some maybe the ground red pepper. Ooh, sounds so good. What am I doing this for? I should be like eating pizza right now. I got the wrong priorities over here. Gotta love it. All right. So and yeah, I opened myself up to that one right there. I lobbed that baseball right over the plate right there, so Lindy Rig could smash it out of the park right there. And the ladies love the long ball right there. Not that we're worried about that because we're a bunch of gay dudes hanging out in the live chat here. But Van wants chat to stuff him like a turkey. Yeah. Well, wow, my secret is out right there. Gotcha. And all right, gotta love it. But I like to see the live chat going on in here. And yeah, so the shorter you're in the live chat, the gayer you are. The longer you stay, then the more manlier you are because your testosterone levels go up the longer you're in the live chat in here. So that's the way that goes. Hey, I don't make the rules. I just enjoy them. Okay, that's all I know right there. And real quick here, hey, fellas. All right, so there you go. The sausage fest there in the live chat. If you guys got some drinks, man, toss it back. Oh yeah, there we go. Love it. Yeah, because I don't want to be hogging all the booze. You guys can get in there and drink your beers, drink your cocktails, whatever, So do it because this is your time. This is your time. You can go crazy, all right? Go nuts and why not? Don't stuff each other like a turkey or anything like that. So we don't endorse that here at Movies Merica HQ. Don't do that. Okay, so don't make like it's West Hollywood or San Francisco or anything like that, or Austin, Texas, or whatever. Don't do that. But we got some more Heretic to talk here, okay? And so we've got Mr. Reed again, Hugh Grant. He's the antagonist. He's basically the main reason to watch this movie right there, because Hugh Grant, he's got some acting chops right there. He's been around for a while, since the 90s, where that's really where he gained his notoriety and all that stuff. And then, well, he gained notoriety for a good reason, and then he gained notoriety for a bad reason because he got caught getting blowies from a hooker, like in 94 and 95. So just when his star was rising, so was his twig and berries as some hooker was going down on him and whatnot. So, and he was actually dating Elizabeth Hurley. Remember Elizabeth Hurley? Smoking hot, right? She was in Austin Powers and Bedazzled, and she still looks good. I saw a recent picture of Elizabeth Hurley. Oh my God, she is looking damn good. I mean, one for the spank bank, that's for sure. So, not that I would know anything about that, okay? But he was dating Elizabeth Hurley, and then he's like getting blowies from this nasty friggin' hood rat hooker and whatnot, and so yeah, he was shamed, just as his star was rising there in 95. But apparently he's recovered from that. So, and I think Elizabeth Hurley ended up staying with him. My God, man, woman, have you no self-esteem? You can have any dude you want, and the dude you chose to get with was getting blowies from Letitia. So there you go. But so all that to say, I'd call that a digression right there, right? But Mr. Reed, he implies that religion is really just a massive tool used to control people. I hear that a lot, or not hear that a lot, but I've heard that also as well, throughout my life. Any atheists, or mostly atheists, agnostics are like, well, God could exist or he might not exist. He could, he might, he could not. They're just like kind of just indifferent, right? Where atheists are like militant about proving God does not exist. I swear to God, he does not exist. I will convince you, all right? Or else, like that's atheist, right? And so that's one of the things you hear about religion from some atheists, is that it's just a tool used to control people. But I ask, like, how is it any more of a tool for control than, say, politics or education or science? I mean, think about this. All right, we're about to get deep, people. All right, no, not deep like the Sausage Fest, the gay guy, the gay parade in the live chat. So we're not that guy. We're like thought deep. Okay, there we go. So theorizing deep, but so in politics, as far as like it being a tool for control, in politics, if you declare a faith, aka a political party, there are rules that you have to follow, right? There's things you're not supposed to do and things that you are supposed to do in accordance with whatever political party or, again, faith that you've subscribed to, right? Or that you belong to, all right? In education, you're to perform duties like studying. So that's controlling your time and activity. I mean, you don't get into heaven, aka that job you really want, until you're baptized, aka you get your degree. And then in many circles in the scientific community, you are forbidden to believe in certain things. Scientific method be damned. What scientific conclusions you can share are sometimes controlled or based on control factors like the political climate, which we saw a lot of that during COVID, right? Okay, so for decades and decades before COVID, there was this thing called the scientific method, or obviously there still is the thing known as the scientific method, but you were able to employ the scientific method without controversy, without resistance, without turbulence, right? And it was this system of this free exchange of scientific ideas, theories, hypotheses, all that kind of stuff. Well, when COVID hit, all that went right out the window, right? So it was basically, all right, we have this narrative that Big Pharma and the Democrats and the WHO and the American Medical Association, there's this narrative that we're all on board with. Long live the narrative, scientific method. Bye. Everything is about supporting the narrative. if you have a theory, a fact, a hypothesis that goes against the narrative, toss it in the garbage. And if you don't, it's your ass. And so that would be something where your scientific conclusions that you can share are based on things like the political climate or whatever the culture is at the lab or the company. So the claim that religion is just a control tool, while everything outside of religion is this liberating, free for all, do whatever you want, no holds barred, the shackles are off kind of thing. That's laughable, as well as major league projecting right there. So so people that like to pinpoint religion as this nefarious tool for control, well, they're leaving a whole lot of stuff out. Okay, they're letting a whole lot of things off the hook. Okay, religion isn't that, and also a lot of people think of religion as this tool for control because yes, if depending on what religion you believe in, or like whatever God you pray to, there are rules, right, commandments to follow. And so that means inevitably you're going to run into some stuff. You run into some instances where like, I really want to do that, but I can't because it's against God's will. It's against the commandment. It's against what's in the Bible or, in the Quran or, anyway. So the Book of Mormon. Okay. It's against that. I mean, like, a common one is you're a dude, like you see a hot woman, like you really want to get with her, but you can't because it's a commandment. So you run into like situations in life where you're like, I really want to do it, but I can't. So for lack of a better way of putting it, it takes the fun away sometimes, right? And you're like, oh man, I want to do that, but I can't. And so, naturally, human nature is to not like that, right? It's like, I don't want something holding me down. I don't want something, holding me back. If I want to get my dick wet, on the hot secretary over there, I should be able to. But man, religion, it's just what? I'm going to give up religion. Okay. It's just a tool for control. What you're really saying is I don't have the willpower in the discipline. And I don't really praise God or, whatever God, I don't really do that. It's not really in my heart. I'm not really converted. I'm not really whatever, right? You're not really that. You're just maybe going through the motions or something like that. And so you're not willing to forego your base instincts and whatnot. And so as an excuse to basically let yourself off the hook, you go, you know what? This religion thing is a bunch of bunk. It's just a tool for control. So that's where a lot of that stuff comes from right there. It's just a way to, basically just take it easy on yourself and give yourself an out, where really it's just your fault right there. But there we go. And apparently my philosophizing have lost me my live chat right there because people are like, all right, I didn't know this guy was going to go 60 minutes Andy Rooney over here. Man, this is boring as hell. Screw this crap. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go watch some thing about Matt Gaetz or something like that, or go jump on Pornhub, or maybe it's the fact that I implied everybody in the live chat is a bunch of gay dudes right there. So there we go. And I'm always good at really winning over the crowd and that kind of thing. So gotta love it. But yeah, and there is some big news out there, that's for sure. A lot of events, a lot of news headlines there to check out. But on the movie beat, we've got like a Rachel Zegler, the one she was in the West Side Story. People know, even if you're not big into movies at this point, this bitch has said so much controversial stuff that you may not really even know movies that well, and you know who Rachel Zegler is, right? She's going to be playing Snow White coming up here. She was just in one of the Hunger Games movies and whatnot, but she keeps putting her head up her ass, right, and saying these things like a lot of actresses or a lot of actors say, like getting on Trump supporters and saying that I think she said something along the lines like she hopes Trump supporters find no peace, and they're whatever, basically she's saying nasty shit about Trump supporters and that kind of thing. So and she's talking about where with her Snow White movie coming up here. This is something she said in the past. She's talking about, well, it's not so much about a prince and a princess coming together and finding love and all that kind of stuff. She's, the prince was kind of stalking her. Well, this is going to be a different Snow White. This Snow White's going to be a career woman. All right. She's going to be a girl boss. She's going to be empowered and all that stuff. And, if you don't like it, suck it. Just saying all these controversial, head up your ass kind of things. And so today, her latest dumbass thing that she said was something along the lines of, Trump supporters should find no peace, and I hate Trump supporters and that kind of thing. So she's right there in line with all those actors, all the celebrities are just like, I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to move to Canada, and it won at Ava Longoria today. That was another story where she's like, I moved out of the country because of the election results because Trump got elected. And, it's just another out of touch celebrity that doesn't realize like nobody gives a fuck. Okay. If you moved out of the country, Ava Longoria, like, don't go away, Matt, just go away. We don't need a post, on X, or we don't need a Hollywood Reporter or Hollywood Reporter article or a Variety article. Okay. Just go, just take your little ass and go, just move to France or wherever you're going to go. Just go. Same with Don Lemon, Don Lemon leaving X. That this jack off, like he even puts out a statement on Don Lemon letterhead saying, I am leaving X because of the terms of service. I just don't agree with the terms of service, and so I'm leaving. So everybody, get your hankies out, because I'm sure you're going to cry about me leaving X. Oh, yes. Nobody cares. Just go. All right. And stay gone. Okay. All right. So there you go. On that little distraction that I went down, I think it's time to get a little liquid, a little hydration down me here. And so that's typically, the time for a little brew review time. So let's make that happen. All right, so say hello. Say hello to my little friend. Okay, this is some Genesee Brewing Company Honey Brown Lager. Comes to us from Rochester, New York. Okay, and as the name of the beer implies, it's got some honey up in this beer right there. And weirdly enough, so what I was noticing earlier is that there's not as much honey taste as there is like a honey nose. Like, so I smell more honey than I taste honey in the beer, which is really weird, really warped, really bizarre, but it is what it is there. And it's not overpowering. Okay. It's one of these beers that it's made light enough to where it's pretty much made to drink in mass quantities. Okay. So not mass quantities, where you're dying of blood alcohol poisoning or something like that. Not at all right there. But good. It's like a good beer to drink when you're on the bass boat and you're out there with Uncle Chuck and you're like, doing a little bass fishing and whatnot. And you got yourself a cooler full of honey browns. It's good for that. Okay. Or if you're at one of the, like a classy frat party where they're drinking something other than Bud Light tranny fluid, and if you're hanging out with some frat brothers that actually have some imagination and some ingenuity when it comes to brew, well, they might, have some Genesee Brewing Honey Brown there. So you can definitely drink it in that situation as well. And this is part of their Genesee Selects brews here. And so it's pretty good, pretty damn good, or specialty brews. That's what it is, specialty brews there. But again, not heavy at all. So as I'm sure you probably gathered by now, I would recommend the Honey Brown. All right, it's not earth-shattering, but it's worth your time. If you do run into it, by all means, you can grab it. There's plenty of other beers that are better than this, but I can't in good conscience go, whatever you do, stay away from this beer. I can't say that about this. Okay, so it's kind of a middle-of-the-road beer from Genesee Brewing Company. And so it's probably not going to be a beer that you're going to be able to find like readily available, at your local gas and gulp or grocery store. Okay, you're not going to be able to hop in your Prius and run down to the grocery store and grab yourself some Genesee Brewing Honey Brown. You're probably going to have to go someplace like, Uber Eats, or GoPuff.com or Drizzly.com or something like that, right? There to grab it. But yeah, it's serviceable. We'll say it right there. So there we go. All right, let me take a tug off this bad boy. All right, good stuff right there. And it is about time to close down the shop on some brew review time. So let's do it. All right, let's do this here real quick. And I want to tell you guys all about our Moich. Yeah, we got Till Death Podcast Network, Moich or merch, okay, if you pronounce it correctly. And more specifically, more to the point, we have Movies Merica merch. As you see up there at the top left, we got the Movies Merica t-shirt and looking so fine in the black right there. But we got other colors. You can get the Movies Merica t-shirt in there as well. And then we also got other t-shirts that have to do with assorted Till Death Podcast Network shows, all right? And then also, when you click on that merch link down in the description, that's where you can go down there to click on that merch link. You're going to see other merchandise down there. You're going to see like Movies Merica shot glasses, Movies Merica phone cases, yoga pants, screwdrivers, whatever, you name it. Okay, so cake pans, whatever. Okay, so there's probably at least a couple of those things that I mentioned that there aren't, but but you'll see. The only way you can see though what we have down there is to click on that merch link down below, right there in the description. And hey, yeah, Christmas is coming up, Kwanzaa, Festivus, Hanukkah. All right, so Shlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassan Pepper Incorporated there. If you want to get a good Movies Merica t-shirt for Rabbi Rowenstein, or you want to get a Movies Merica shot glass for Grandma Molly, which I like. What gift is better than a shot glass to tell Grandma, I love you? Get wasted, Grandma. There we go. Gotta love it. Yeah, so get down there in the merch, or get down in the description and click on that merch link. And then if you put in promo code MOVIES, you are going to get free shipping on whatever you order. So probably the best thing to do is buy as much Movies Merica merch down there and really take advantage of that free shipping deal there. Okay, so to the point where, your wife, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, is at the point where they're like, is everything in that Amazon truck for you? My God, what is it? They're backing up this Ryder moving truck full of stuff. How much did you order? My God. Well, Movies Merica merch is so awesome. I just couldn't contain myself. There you go. So yeah, get yourself in that situation right there. And again, like I said, the holidays are coming up, and the gift giving is good. So yeah, don't be that loser that buys the Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve at the gas station, right? When you could be the person that has their shit together and you're buying your gifts at the merch store right there at the link down below. There we go. All right, enough about that there. Let's move on here with our Heretic talk. There we go. Should we move on? Let's do it. But one thing I was wondering about the whole premise of Heretic is, did Mr. Reed think that this is going to be his final time doing this whole TED Talk / put the lotion in the basket, imprisonment thing that he ended up doing with the good sisters, the Mormon missionaries right there? I mean, did you think this is like just the final time? Because his house is literally on a list of where these missionary women were going to go. Okay, matter of fact, it was the last house on the list because these sisters, these Mormon missionaries, they have these houses on a list that contacted the Mormon church asking, hey, can you guys send some missionaries over to our house? We'd like to learn more about Mormonism and all that kind of stuff, right? And so Mr. Reed's house is on a list of places they were going to go. So the authorities know that the sisters were, at least, on paper, were supposed to go there. So the cops were eventually, they're going to get a warrant, okay? Because, again, that list in his house being on a list, they're going to get a warrant. The cops are eventually going to go and tear his house apart looking for these sisters. And, how, during the course of the movie, they see the drain right at right in the middle of that big old, big ass chamber room, down in his basement. And of course there's the drainage whatever, the drainage vent, we'll call it that. So I don't work at Home Depot, I don't know. But so, underneath that, of course, there was a ladder that led down to all these secret chambers and that kind of thing. Well, they're going to find that drain, right? They're going to find it. Oh, hey, I can lift this drain up. And what is it? Is that a ladder down there? What is that? Is it a ladder? Wow. Where does this ladder lead? And they're going to eventually get to the point where, like, holy shit, there's like this room with all these captive women in here. Hey, that's the guy. He must have these women. He must have killed them. Like, they're going to, that's where this is going to go. Okay. And so, I mean, again, they would have found his secret places. So I'm not sure if his idea was, okay, this is the last time that this is going to happen. Okay. This is going to be the last time I'm going to be, firing up that blueberry pie candle. Okay. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I mean by that reference right there. That's kind of what I was thinking there, which also makes me wonder, well, I was kind of like just thinking out loud right there. It kind of makes me wonder, like, why was he hiding his bike, or why was he, hiding their bikes, right? And well, if he thinks this is going to be the last time, but obviously he was hiding their bikes so that he has enough time with them to, go through his evil plans, his evil, malevolent TED talk that he's doing there. So I just thought that was interesting. What he was doing there with that, and then also, like, that Jar Jar Binks impression that he did. I mean, that was some god awful stuff right there. Okay, because he's going through his little TED talk right there, and he's talking about he wants to he's using different examples to illustrate, okay, that religion is absurd, and why do people believe this stuff? Who's to say in the future somebody might watch Star Wars: The Phantom Menace and they might think that Jar Jar Binks is some kind of god because he's in Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. He's equating us nowadays, or people who go to church, reading about Jesus and Elijah and the apostles and the Bible, and equating, like, believing in them to, they were the Jar Jar Binks of that time, and now we're the dupes that are believing that these people, have some historical biblical influence or importance, particularly Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit and all that stuff right there. But in the course of doing that, he decides to try being the operative word, trying to do a Jar Jar Binks impression here. So let me show you this right here. You'll see, like, you be the judge. You let me know, like, how good do you think his Jar Jar Binks impression is here? So let's get in here.
A significant religious figure. Imagine thousands of years from now, people accepting Jar Jar as a significant religious figure.
Beg your pardon?
Jar Jar. Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar, excuse me.
Never mind. Imagine thousands of years from now.
See what I mean? Like, that is a terrible, terrible impression there. So, and not to influence the jury or anything like that, but, like, since when does Jar Jar sound like that? I mean, Jar Jar is like, Misa, I'd like to lock you in my basement and then do a TED talk and talk to you about religion. Yeah, let's go do it, Annie. That's Misa. Like, that's a Jar Jar Binks impression. Still not a very good one, but a hell of a lot closer than Hugh Grant's, Mr. Reed's attempt there for as Jar Jar Binks right there. But I thought it was an interesting addition to the movie. And me, I thought it was really interesting too. But it was just out there. It was just out there as part of the movie there. So all right, let me check something here real quick. There, I got to do a little house cleaning right there because it just occurred to me. So as part of being in a live chat, you can do give Rumble rants or super chats through YouTube, where you can basically donate money my way. And so I had this this realization, oh my God, I haven't checked to see if anybody gave me a Rumble rant there, and I want to be that dickhead, host of a show where I just totally forget or not notice that someone had actually given me a Rumble rant right there. So I don't want to be that guy. Don't want to be that guy whatsoever. Okay, I'm an asshole about plenty of other things. I just don't want to be an asshole about that there. And then probably, if you're like me here, blueberry pie is absolutely ruined for me, at least for a while, because of this movie. Okay, because there's a really gross scene where there's a scene where, actually, let me rephrase. There's a scene where a blueberry pie is brought out, and it's like the most disgusting looking blueberry pie that you've ever seen. And I think it was mentioned this earlier. It's it's a blueberry pie that's poisoned because he's giving it to one of his prophets, which are just captured women that he's kept in captivity for years. But this blueberry pie that's poisoned, just the look of it, just the aesthetic of it is just nasty. Then you get this gross looking, captive lady that's malnourished and stanky and all that stuff, and she's like eating the blueberry pie with her hands, and she's eating it very slowly, and it's just really disgusting and gross and that kind of thing. And so, it's ruined blueberry pie for me for a while. Now I may come back to it, after I've completely forgotten that this movie has existed, and I probably will, before long. This is not like this earth-shattering, remarkable movie or anything like that. But I thought it was kind of funny. They had like a screening in LA. It might have been one of the premieres for Heretic, where actually they had smell-o-vision in the theaters, and they piped in the smell of blueberry pie during the entire movie. Everyone was had the smell of blueberry pie wafting up their nostrils there. And then they also gave out free little blueberry pies at the end of the movie there. So I thought it was interesting there. So, all right. So let's check out here real quick. And I just want to do some house cleaning here. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And all right. Well, I think it's time to do a little promotion right there. And that's just to let you guys know about a great sponsor that we have here for the show. Okay. Because, this show isn't just about me, having fun and doing the show for you. We want to provide some great products for you to check out, okay, that you are going to get something out of, that you're going to enjoy and be able to use, okay? And that, in this instance, is Flip City Magazine. And what is Flip City Magazine? Well, I shall tell you, everybody. So Flip City Magazine is the more than worthy successor to Mad Magazine and Cracked, okay? So remember back in the day, you're having a bad day at work, or your old lady's yelling at your ass, and you just need a good chuckle to take the edge off this shitty day that you're having. So you used to be able to pick up some Mad Magazine or Cracked and flip through it and, just have a good laugh. And, oh, man, Alfred E. Newman, you crazy guy. You're just making me laugh. Oh, look at those jokes right there. Right? Well, so as of 2016, something big, like a big event in history happened right there. A certain person got elected, okay? His name rhymes with Prump, okay? Well, for a lot of people in the entertainment and media industries, him being elected, it broke their brains, okay? Because they watched too much MSNBC and or CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, all right? And they're convinced that, Trump is who I'm talking about, obviously, is the devil, right? Okay, he's Satan incarnate, and the end of the world will come about at his hand. He's evil, and so if you're a complete dumbass, if you're a big doofus who is very gullible, you're going to believe that kind of thing. And let's face it, there's a lot of dumb people in the entertainment media industry. Okay, and so so the people at Mad Magazine and Cracked, they bought that line of bullshit. And so it broke their brains. And so their magazines no longer were so much about making you laugh, okay? They were about teaching you how to live your life, young man, okay? And so they allowed themselves to get assimilated into the woke Borg, okay? Well, that opened up a vacancy, okay? And nature abhors a vacuum, as the saying goes. So, welcome Flip City Magazine as the replacement for that, okay? And Flip City, no woke, okay? Just all jokes, no woke, very funny, okay? And it is now the magazine that you need to grab, again, on those days where your boss is being a total dick or your old lady's hassling you about cleaning out the garage, and you just need a little humor break right there. But enough about me waxing poetic about it. Let's hear it straight from the Flip City folks.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
Here, and let's do this here. Let me hook you guys up with the crucial information, and that is down below right there. And as you see down below, we're making it very easy for you to get your hands on some very funny Flip City magazine by giving you the link in the description to get yourself some Flip City right there. And as it says right there, if you put in promo code MOVIES, you get 10% off your order of the best non-woke comic around, all right? And again, it's the great magazine to replace Mad Magazine and Cracked. And I am not just talking out of my ass. Pardon me. Classy beer burp, I know. Got me some Flip City right there. Check that out. Check the gleam. Check the shine on that right there. I know you're jealous, right? Because I've got Flip City and you don't. There we go. So check that out. We got the artwork right there. And let's check out. Oh, look at that artwork on the back. Ooh, look at that. That's hilarious right there. It says, on his way to survey fire-ravaged Hawaii, President Brandon is finally vetted right there with his little red Corvette. Remember the Corvette? He had all the classified documents stashed right by, and he never faced any punishment for it, so because he's a senile old coot. But yeah, you get some comics in there. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. So fine. There you go. And then we got Trump right there. Look at that. So look at Trump. Feast your eyes. There we go. Our next president. Check that out. So yeah, you're going to get all kinds of great stuff in Flip City Magazine. So get your hands on some right there. All right. So, because don't be on the outside looking in going, man, I wish I had some Flip City like Van does. Well, you know what? You can solve that problem by clicking on that Flip City link in the description right there. The power is in your hands. All right. Do it. Yes. All right. And hey, we got the Whiskey Capitalist podcast up in here. Sup, Titty Peens right there. Good to see you there. The Till Death podcast. Love it. And yeah, we got, did dig that. So, yeah, good to see you here, classing up the show. And, yeah, the Titty Peens, you know, they're a rambunctious bunch. And you couldn't think of a better group. You couldn't come up with a better group of good, down-to-earth, funny people to hang out with and mix it up with. And they're in the live chat, okay? So, or they might not be. I don't know. So I didn't take attendance, okay? So I did. Billy here, Sally here. I don't do that there, but all right, let's move on here with the show because I'm just getting stupid now, getting very dumb. And all right, so I think it's about time here because you know, I just got that inkling. Got that inkling here that it's at time for my favorite segment of every episode of Movies Merica Spoiler Warning that I do every Thursday night. And that, of course, would be the movie Military Moment. And we are going to get on that here directly because I don't want to keep our honoree for the movie Military Movement or Moment waiting. So let's get into it now. All right, so you may be wondering if you are one of the uninitiated, if you do not typically watch this show, what exactly is the movie Military Moment? And by God, what does movies in the military, like, what's the connection? What do they have to do with each other, right? Well, if you're a big Michael Bay fan or, big Mark Wahlberg fan, you know, there's the movies and the military, they blend together beautifully, okay? But as far as this show goes, what's the connection, right? So the connection is that, as you would imagine, because this segment is all about honoring a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, well, you don't get the Congressional Medal of Honor awarded to you for being the best booger picker, you know, at Fort Benning, or being the best letter sorter at the base post office, or shining the best boots. You're awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor because you did something that is just like mind-boggling to the eyes, hellacious to the eyes, amazing to your eyeballs if you see it, right? You're, a Vietnam pilot, and you're Hughie, and you're being told not to land on a hot LZ, but you see there's wounded out there, and you got to get the wounded out, and you got to drop off the ammo, and you're like, you know what? I'm getting that hot LZ. I don't care if the VC are firing, my Hughie, I'm getting down there, and you're risking life and limb. Matter of fact, you get shot while you're trying to pilot this helicopter, but you get the wounded out, you get the ammo to the troops and whatnot. So you're doing something very heroic because you can get shot out of the sky at any time, right? So something like that. Or you're in Guadalcanal during World War II, and your buddies are pinned down. All right, they're in the line. They're in a line of fire from the Japs, and you go in here and you pick up your BAR, your Browning automatic rifle, and you go down there, and you're taking incoming fire. You have no cover whatsoever, and you mow down a bunch of Japs that are about to kill all your buddies over here and whatnot. And maybe you make the ultimate sacrifice. You die right there and whatnot. But so both those situations, if you saw them on a big movie screen right in front of you, it would be a very cool movie military moment. So that is the connection right there, okay? And so our honoree for this movie Military Moment is one Captain Edward C. Allworth. And I think that the good captain deserves his own badass movie Military Moment music. Don't you think? I mean, I think that's the least we could do. So let's make that happen. This is the movie Military Moment. And in this movie Military Moment, our proud, distinguished honoree is one Captain Edward C. Allworth, who fought for us in World War I. And let's find out more about what Captain Allworth did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. While his company was crossing the Meuse River and canal at a bridgehead opposite Clary-le-Petit. The bridge over the canal was destroyed by shell fire, and Captain Allworth's command became separated, part of it being on the east bank of the canal and the remainder on the west bank. Seeing his advanced units making slow headway up the steep slope ahead, this officer mounted the canal bank and called for his men to follow. Plunging in, he swam across the canal under fire from the enemy, followed by his men. Inspiring his men by his example of gallantry, he led them up the slope, joining his hard-pressed platoons in front. By his personal leadership, he forced the enemy back for more than a kilometer, overcoming machine gun nests and capturing 100 prisoners, whose number exceeded that of the men in his command. The exceptional courage and leadership displayed by Captain Allworth made possible the reestablishment of a bridgehead over the canal and the successful advance of other troops. And we salute you, Captain Edward C. Allworth, for what you did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor and for securing our freedom and fighting for this great country. And that has been the movie Military Moment. All right. Gets me fired up every time right there. And again, always makes me ask myself, like, hey, man, what exactly did I do with my day right there? Okay, this guy is jumping in the river. He's charging up hills and taking out the enemy, with no regard for his life. And me, I'm sitting on my ass talking about movies. There we go. We got it so good nowadays in this country. That's what pisses me off about when you see people on X or social media like, this country sucks. This country's terrible. Oh my God, I'm moving to France. Just what the hell are you talking about? You have no idea how good you have it, and how honored how honorable the people that created this comfy, cushy environment that you live in, how honorable they were right there, like Captain Allworth right there. So I think he would be disgusted if he saw what people think about this country right now, like a lot of veterans are. You see, clips of veterans, older veterans from, Korea and World War II and Vietnam, and they're just straight up disgusted, like, my God, all these whining pansies, living in the comfort and coziness that we've provided and that kind of thing, getting upset because someone didn't make their latte the right way. So, yeah, it's pathetic. All right, that's been the movie Military Moment. All right, hey, we got Agent X6 back here in the live chat right there. Don't know if he ever left right there, but yeah, good to see you and everybody else here in the live chat. And I'm done with all the spoilers and whatnot. I appreciate you guys just like joining me on this show, because this show is, it literally has spoiler warning in the name of the show. So there's spoilers and that kind of thing. So I appreciate you guys joining the show, knowing full well, if you haven't seen the movie, that you might step on a spoiler landmine and go, man, what the hell? I was going to watch that movie. No, I appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. Okay. I definitely notice it. I appreciate that and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's why I try to review movies where I think people are going to want to go see them. So it ups the chances that by the time I get to this Thursday night spoiler heavy show, more people will have seen the movie. So I'm spoiling the movie for less people. That's why you don't see me reviewing a lot of, French detective noir movies, or anything like that. So, weird, obscure movies, so because no one, at least in the titty peens or anybody that I would think watch the show, they're not going to go see that movie, right? They're going to go see, Top Gun Maverick and whatever, Deadpool and Wolverine. So I try to review the more mainstream movies, or the movies that are going to tantalize people to go see them. And Heretic, I don't know, it probably isn't one of the more tantalizing movies out there, but I just couldn't bring myself to see Venom 3. Ugh. Oh, God. That's why I didn't review that. I saw the first Venom, And I thought, oh my God, my insomnia, it's cured. So yeah, didn't want to. So I sure didn't want to see the second or the third one there. But anyway, I got a great movie coming up this Sunday that I'm going to be reviewing that you guys are really going to want to check the show out. But that's what we call a tease. I'm not going to tell you quite yet what I'm going to review coming up for this Sunday and next Thursday night. Right there. See, I know I'm such a tease. I'm such a naughty boy. I know. All right. So what I want to do now is, since Heretic is a horror movie, it's a holy horror movie because it's a horror movie where the subject matter has to do with religion, God, deities, scripture, all that stuff, the power of faith or the whatever, right? That's got to do with that. So that's why I consider it. I throw it in the category of holy horror. Well, I just wanted to talk about some of the more recent holy horror movies that I like the most. Okay, so, and then these aren't necessarily ranked in any kind of particular order, but these are some movies that would fit in that category of holy horror that have come out in the last 2-3 years that I really, really like. And I wanted to turn you guys onto them just in case you guys haven't seen them. But one thing you should take away from these movies that I'm about to show you the trailer for and that kind of thing is that if you haven't seen them, you should really go see them. And I would not lead you astray. I would not steer you down the path of going to see some dog shit movie. All right. You should definitely go check these movies out right there. So we're going to start off here with a movie called Nefarious. Now you're going to notice that the text in these trailers, they're like, backwards or they're flipped. Well, I did that because you kind of have to like modify the appearance of the trailers. Otherwise you get copyright strikes and all that crap and that kind of thing. And you might find that I'm stopping the videos halfway through and that kind of thing to maybe further ensure that we don't get copyright strikes and that kind of thing. We might still get copyright strikes regardless right there. So, and if they do, what, up yours there. So, but before I do that, I'm going to give you a little tug off my beer because I'm going to be talking a little bit. So, and again, that's your hint to toss back whatever cold one you have there. So there you go. All right. All righty. Let's get into this. So the first one is Nefarious here. This is one that came out a couple of years ago. Actually, no, it was last year, like March or April of last year. But let's check this out.
Hello?
You should have accepted my offer, James.
Execution scheduled for 11 p.m. But he's trying to convince us he's gone insane.
And therefore incapable of being executed.
I need you to prove he's faking it.
Edward? I'm gonna ask you some questions.
I'm not Edward. I'm a demon.
Demons aren't really a thing. What happened to Edward?
We own him.
We?
He's a master manipulator. You have your head so twisted around you think you're the killer, not him.
And give me something to make me believe you. Prove to me you're a demon.
It's probably just a coincidence.
I want to talk to
The real
Edward.
You guys might recognize that. That's Sean Patrick Flannery. And, of course, he's one of the Boondock Saints there. And then, of course, he was the young Indiana Jones, that short-lived TV series on ABC back in the 80s. I think it came out like right after Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, if I'm not remiss. And he was also that movie, the Powder. Yeah, he was in Powder as well. But Sean Patrick Flannery, good guy. He's a good follow on X there. So, and he's a pretty good MMA fighter as well. So he can kick ass.
Makes me do bad things. I can't stop him.
I need you to see something. You got a fan. Did the same thing with all his victims.
Help me!
I'm trying to, Edward, but you have to answer my questions. You have to tell me the truth.
It won't let me!
Make him go away. Make him go away. Yes?
No.
It's time we tell you exactly what it is that we'd like you to do.
So this movie, this is actually based on a book called A Nefarious Plot. And it's directed by it was written by Steve Dace. And Steve Dace, actually, he's got a really good show called The Steve Dace Show on the Blaze. And also you can like just check it out on X or YouTube. It's not, it's basically, it's also shown on the Blaze, but it's independent of that as well. Pardon me. And Steve Dace, I like that show just because he's like me, where he likes to use a lot of pop culture in his political analysis and that kind of thing. So he's like a big Star Wars fan and that kind of, and super Friends fan and that kind of thing. It likes to incorporate sports analogies and all that stuff into his political analysis and that kind of thing. It's a really good show called The Steve Dace Show, and he was an executive producer here on this movie. Yeah, so it was like last year that movie or Nefarious came out. So that's a really good one there. So as you can tell, yeah, it's Sean Patrick Flannery plays Edward, who's Edward / Nefarious, and the guy's got to try to prove that he's sane so that he can be executed. And Sean Patrick Flannery, his performance in this is it's no doubt, without a doubt, 110% Oscar worthy. He should have been nominated for an Oscar, but because people consider it a faith-based movie, there's no way the Academy was going to touch him. Okay, for an Oscar nomination, because Steve Dace, he's like a devout Christian, and so that he wrote the book in order to spread a Christian message and whatnot. But the movie is considered a horror movie, but also a horror movie to kind of spread a message out there. And so if you're if you're one of those pagan globalists, you're gonna hate this movie because it's definitely anti-baby killing. Okay, it's anti euthanasia and all that stuff. It's got its messaging. Okay, so you're gonna feel like you're being lectured to and preached to if you're like some pagan globalist, that kind of thing. And so I don't know if you guys ever see like Cody Leach. If you ever check out Cody Leach, he's a film critic on YouTube. But he's a good example of, you can tell which critics really, probably haven't touched the Bible in about 20 years or haven't set foot in the church in about 20 years. And they probably think religion is for a bunch of kooks, because he was watching the fair. He's like, this movie's preaching to me. It's sitting here. It's chiding me. It's lecturing me and whatnot. So it's like, oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. You haven't, you haven't been to church in a while. You're not really a Christian. You think probably anyway. So you think what you think there. But there's definitely a group of people that hate the movie Nefarious because it's an educational horror movie, that's for sure. But it's still a good movie. So that's Steve Dace has outright said, like, about faith-based movies or movies that are perceived to be faith-based. The number one thing they have to be is good. Okay, if you have to sacrifice the faith-based part of it in order for it to be good, sacrifice it. The movie's got to be good because no one's going to take your whatever message you're trying to send if the movie is dog shit, right? Okay, it's got to be good. And so they made the movie good, and they're like, okay, since we've taken care of the quality part, now we'll put the messaging into the movie there. So he's right. I couldn't agree with him more right there. All right, so then the next movie I want to show you here is Late Night with the Devil. And this is another great one. This one came out earlier this year, so let's check it out.
On Halloween night, 1977, America gathered around for a live TV event that shocked the nation. What happened was real. What you are about to see is the recently discovered master tape of what went to air that night.
If Mr.
Ladies and gentlemen, now
So you probably recognize him. He's David Dastmalchian. He played the Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad a few years ago. And then he was also in a couple of the Ant-Man movies. And then also he was also recently in the Last Voyage of the Demeter that came out late last year. So the vampire movie. First time I ever saw him, I think the first time that anybody ever saw him in a movie was he was in the movie The Dark Knight. And he was the heavy for the Joker, who was in the back of the ambulance that Harvey Dent took off in the ambulance and was was trying to intimidate and that kind of thing. So that was David Dastmalchian right here.
Late Night with the Devil.
So yes, that's a really good movie there, and I like the. I mean, they really simulate the '70s look, the '70s motif very, very well. And also, the screenplay is fantastic. The story is fantastic, and really creeping you out. And it plays on the satanic panic of the '70s. So if you're old enough, you remember back in the '70s, that was a time where people were like, "Oh man, if you play this record backwards, then it says, 'Oh, sweet Satan.' It has all these satanic sayings if you play this record backwards, or there was a satanic church, and then one of the satanic high priests that was famous was Anton LaVey. And so back in the day of that, just the satanic panic, and AC/DC was the devil, and Kiss was the devil, and Black Sabbath was the devil, and better look out, kids, and oh my God, I better not hear you listening to that Kiss music. You know what Kiss stands for? Kings in Satan's service. Just the satanic panic. And so that movie just reminded me of the satanic panic period of time back in the '70s, and it's got some really good would look like practical gore effects in it. There's some like towards the end where you're like, okay, there's no way they could do that practically. They had to use some CGI in there. But then David Dastmalchian, he plays a character. Was it like Jack Tedford or Jack Delroy? So he's basically a competitor to Johnny Carson. So obviously he's on this late night TV show, and he's at one point he's like neck and neck in the ratings of Johnny Carson. But then his ratings start slipping, and he basically is to the point where the heads of the studio, the channel that he's on, the network that he's on, is like, I don't know if we're gonna re-up your contract because you're way back in the ratings behind Johnny Carson and the Tonight Show. So this guy's really desperate to get his ratings back up, and so there's this plot line involving his wife, and maybe she's dying, and he's in a cult, and then there's the little girl that you saw there in the trailer, she's involved with another satanic cult. Like, it's just all these things that come together beautifully in this movie, this callback to the '70s, and it's a really damn good movie there. So check out Late Night with the Devil there. So these movies, I'm recommending them to you because I know you're going to love them. I know you're going to love them because I don't want people coming back to me and going, because I want to be the last person that has people coming back to me like, that movie sucked, man. What the hell? I'm never taking a recommendation of yours ever again. I don't want to be that guy. Okay, so I do not take this lightly as far as what movies I recommend to you. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. And again, a reminder, yes, I know that the graphics, the titling, and all that stuff are all backwards, and then the color grading is all off too because I had to like modify the trailers and that kind of thing. But here we go.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah.
Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
So right there, that character, that's Long Legs, and he's played by Nicolas Cage, and that's the title of this movie that I'm recommending to you, Long Legs. And this came out earlier this year, back in June. And this is considered one of the top horror films of this year. And this is a movie where I've heard a lot of people that are very devout Christians, very religious. This is a movie where they're really warning people from seeing this movie because it really disturbed them. Steve Dace, that I mentioned earlier, this is a movie where he expressly warned Christians and anybody, don't watch this movie because it's just got this darkness about it. Okay, so take that advice for what it's worth right there, but it is, pardon me, a very dark movie, like literally when it comes to the cinematography, but also really about the subject matter and the characters and the events and that kind of thing. So
I saw a beast rise up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his horns he wore 10 crowns. On each head was written a blasphemous name.
What aren't you telling me?
Now, when you see this movie, you'll realize it's got a very Silence of the Lambs feel to it because the main character that you see right there, Mecca Monroe, she's an FBI agent. It takes place in the 90s there, and of course, Silence of the Lambs came out in the 90s, right? And so it's got that, but it's so much different. It's very much different enough from Silence of the Lambs to where you're not going to be watching this movie going, man, this is just a rip-off the Silence of the Lambs. You're not going to be thinking that whatsoever.
He'll kill and kill again.
I know you're not afraid of a little bit of dark. Because you are the dark.
Do you still say your prayers? Never once. They scared me. Hello?
You could have made nice with me. But you didn't.
So it's and then you've got Blair Underwood there. He plays like her boss with the FBI. And this movie's obviously got a very supernatural part of it there. So this is not grounded or anything like that. It's definitely got a satanic, devil, supernatural, occult element to it there, and it's something else.
And that is led to all of this. I'll be waiting.
So yeah, so that is actually it's directed by Oz Perkins, and Oz Perkins, interestingly enough, you guys may have actually seen him before. Remember the movie Legally Blonde with Reese Witherspoon? Remember way back in the early 2000s, and of course she goes to Harvard, and one of her classmates is like this, like big dorky dude, and there's that scene where he's like trying to talk to a couple of girls, trying to get their phone number or something like that, and the 2 girls are like, giving him a hard time, like, oh my god, like you thought that you could get our phone number, like you think you even have a chance with us? Oh my god, go away, And Reese Witherspoon walks by this all going on, and she does a very, very cool thing. She goes up to him and pretends that he's her boyfriend, or he's a guy that slept with her, and she's like, oh my god, the night you gave me was the greatest night of my life. You gave me so much pleasure. Oh man, it was so great. And she's doing this, talking to him in front of these 2 girls. And then these 2 girls are like, oh, well, I thought this guy was a loser, but man, this really hot girl is talking about how much pleasure this pleasure this guy gave her and whatnot. All right. So that was a very solid thing for her to do. Well, that geeky dude, he was played by Oz Perkins, the guy who directed this movie, Long Legs, right there. So just a little useless trivia. But yeah, Nicolas Cage he just knocks out of the park. He is, just when you thought he was all out of memorable characters in his career, right? He comes here in the year 2024 and creates yet another memorable character. You will not forget his character in this, and he just and of course, Nicolas Cage has always had that maniacal energy, and that's exactly what's needed for this character of Long Legs. But it's a very dark, maniacal energy for sure. This next movie here is probably the most obscure of our movies that I'm going to show you here, but it's a movie that you definitely will remember, or definitely will. You'll remember it, but you'll also be glad that you checked it out. It's probably one of the harder ones to find. I think it's on Shudder. If you check out, like, if you just maybe there might be like a free trial of Shudder you can get or something. I think if you get Hulu, I think Shudder comes with it free, but don't quote me on that. But right. But anyway, so let's check out the trailer for The Cleansing Hour.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, I command you to give me your name.
And cut. Nice job, everybody. Good job.
I gotta take that.
Follow monitors. Let me lead.
All right, everybody, here we go. 3, 2.
Time to go off script.
So that one basically is, as you can tell from the beginning of it, it's, they have this exorcism show where it's fake, they're just trying to get clicks, trying to get views. And so the main guy, he's a guy that did go to the seminary, he did, study there to become a priest, but just couldn't get over that whole celibacy thing, right? And so you see in this movie where he's going out and he's just chasing tail all over the place. But he wants to make money, right? And so they're doing this fake exorcism show. And well, the old dude downstairs, the old red dude with the pitchfork and the horns, doesn't like that too much, and so he decides to crash the party and possess somebody for real in this particular episode right there. And it's very good. But even though you kind of know that part of the plot right there, it's got plenty of good surprises and great performances and shock moments and good gore and that kind of thing. And the ending of this movie, The Cleansing Hour, oh, God, yeah. It's just reminded me of the ending of Halloween 3. Now, Halloween 3 is a shitty movie, but the ending is kind of intriguing. So it kind of reminded me of that right there. But it's a very good movie, The Cleansing Hour. And it's got some recognizable faces in it as well. But it kind of reminds you of, it's kind of a indictment on shows that just do things for just kind of clickbaity shows and that kind of thing. And so it's kind of an indictment on that. And so if you're going to be a clickbaity show, don't be one where you're faking exorcisms, okay? This is a cautionary tale for everybody, for all you boys and girls out there that are thinking about doing a fake exorcism content show on Rumble or YouTube. Watch The Cleansing Hour and be de-emphasized or be dissuaded from doing that very thing. All right. So, and then the last movie that I want to seriously recommend to you from the last few years that fits into the holy horror category is a little movie called Talk to Me. And this is a movie from a couple of Australian directors. And the directors are actually a couple of twin brothers, the Philippou brothers. Okay. And they were some YouTube stars. They just made a bunch of like viral YouTube videos. and where they do a bunch of stunts and just crazy stuff. And you can read up on them, but if you just Google "Talk to Me," Philippou Brothers, you'll find out more about their history. Well, this is their first feature-length movie. This is their first movie, period. Okay, because again, like I said before, they had just done YouTube videos, and then they decided, okay, we need to up our game. All right, we need to kind of move up the filmmaking chain, and let's actually make a movie. And so this is their very first movie that they've made, called "Talk to Me," and it's amazing. You would never think that this is their first full-length movie or first feature movie. I keep saying that. Their first movie they've ever made. Okay, you would never think that, okay, because it's so damn good. And then they took it to Sundance, and A24 obviously was impressed with it as well, enough to pick it up. And they're going to come out with a sequel to this movie now. And they just I think they just got, they just got hired to direct like the latest installment in like in a particular movie franchise. Let's see, next movies. Let's see right here. Let's check this out. They are, if they're going to do, let's do this, Bring Her Back. So that's going to be, so that's going to be there we go. And Bring It Back. Yeah, Raka Raka. That's the name of the YouTube channel that they did right there. Let me do this right here because I'm really intrigued now because they're supposed to, come on, IMDb, pull your head out of your ass. There we go. All right, let's do this right here. Let's check this out. So I also want to see like it's one of the like the Hunger Games movie that's coming up or something like that. Let's see here. It's in here somewhere. Okay, and upcoming. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, so Bring Her Back. So I guess that's probably the talk. I think that's the Talk to Me sequel there. So, but yeah, they're great filmmakers there. So yeah, it's Danny and Danny and Michael Philippou are the name of the brothers there. And I have like a full length review for Talk to Me there earlier. So back, I think the movie came out last year, like in August or something like that of last year. So yeah, so check out my Talk to Me episodes there from last year. Always got to be plugging. But I did a spoiler-free review, Talk to Me, and I did a Movies Merica spoiler warning episode, like the one you're watching right now, all on Talk to Me as well. But enough about me talking about Talk to Me. Let's check out the trailer.
You busy tonight?
You want to turn, eh?
My mum leaves at 9.
So you're 10.
So where'd you get it from anyway?
Apparently it was the hand of someone who could connect with the dead.
I heard it was the hand of a Satanist. The other hand's just out there.
White people shit, man, I tell you.
All right, let's do this! You know the drill. Say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Haylie, fucking stop it, he's choking!
83 seconds, get it off him!
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it?
Delete it. Delete it, come on!
The spirit.
So I will tell you that this movie has a couple of the most shocking, graphically gory scenes that I've ever seen in a horror movie. Okay, and one part of the movie has to do with, okay, you know how there's heaven and then there's hell, and then Catholics, at least, and other people probably believe this, there's limbo, right? There's the place between heaven and hell. Well, if you ever got the impression that limbo is, hey, it's not so bad, it's probably like, heaven light, it's more than it's hell. Woo, this movie convinces you otherwise, okay? Because limbo is also a place you do not want to go if you believe the imagery that you see of limbo in Talk to Me there. Also, one other thing I like about this movie, it has an English bulldog in this movie there, and I have an English bulldog named Tugboat. So any movie that has an English bulldog in it, like Van Wilder, Pacific Rim, movies with English bulldogs, they automatically get a thumbs up in my book. And Talk to Me has an English bulldog in there, so I know, fascinating.
They followed us.
We have to do something. You want to do it again?
They're not gonna stop. What was it?
What? I don't know!
I let you in. I let you in. Oh my God.
So basically, if you haven't picked up from the trailer there, so what they have this hand, and they basically, when you grab the hand, I think the first thing you say is "talk to me," and when you say "talk to me," it'll show you it's one of the dead, or it'll show you a dead person. Okay, so no one else in the room can see it, but you can see it because you're grabbing onto the hand. Say "talk to me," and so the dead people that you see, they're gross, and they're all fucking they're broken down. What's the word I'm looking for here? They're like dilapidated or whatever, right? They're just when you die, your body breaks down. You look gross, right? And so, but then if you also say if you say "talk to me," said "I let you in," then that's you telling them, "Oh, you can possess my body and you can speak through me." And so the rule is you can only let them possess you for 90 seconds, I think. And so if you go beyond 90 seconds, we don't know precisely what's going to happen, but nothing good is going to happen. Okay. And so them's the rules. Okay. So as long as you follow the rules, as you saw in the trailer, they're kind of playing it like it's a frat party game or something like that. Right. And so this hand is made around, the world, or it's implied that it has, it's like all these dummies passing this hand around like they're passing a joint around. But if you play around with the occult, if you play around with the other world, with the devil and all that stuff, it's going to bite you right in the ass. So just word of caution. So yeah, check that out right there. It's a fantastic movie, and it's got some slow parts in it, but really just bear with it because the slow parts are there to build up the atmosphere. And boy, the atmosphere it builds up. It's gonna knock you on your ass there, and it's one of the greater endings of a horror movie that I've seen. And I guess you'd say the main protagonist is the black girl that you see there. Sophie Wilde, I believe, is the actress that plays her, and her character arc in this movie is just so captivating, or it's very intriguing and very memorable, and you just see her go from here to there, and everything in between is the stuff of nightmares, okay? And just the things that she goes through. And then you'll see characters, and this movie does a very good job at getting you connected to the characters, where you start caring about the characters, and then terrible things happening to them. So when the terrible things happen to them, it really hits you, oh my God, oh God, it just, because you get invested into the character, okay? There, but Talk to Me, great movie. And again, if you're an English bulldog lover, you'll love the movie because there's English bulldog in the movie. So there we go. But check. So you've got your homework, everybody. If you haven't seen any of those movies there, so I would highly recommend them. And again, if I wouldn't watch them again, because all of these movies, even though they're horror movies and I know what's going to happen, these are horror movies so good. I've watched them multiple times. Okay, so they're that intriguing, they're that good, and it's even more fun to watch them with somebody that hasn't seen them, okay, because you know what they're gonna see already, and it's fun to watch their face, watch the expression on their face, and kind of like remember watching the Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones with somebody that has never seen it, and they've been watching Game of Thrones with you, and you've already seen it, but they haven't. You've been watching it with them, and you get to the Red Wedding episode, and it's just so intriguing and fun just to get their reaction to the Red Wedding and all. So these movies are like that, where you're gonna watch them you're just gonna really dig and be intrigued and be entertained by seeing the reaction from people that haven't seen these movies there. So check them out. All right, let me grab a tug on my beer here real quick. All right, that's a dead soldier, everybody. That's a dead soldier. And I will be getting me another beer after the episode is over with. But I teased you earlier with what movie I'm going to be reviewing next week, and it's time for me to deliver what I teased you about. And so this week, I'm going to be doing a retro review on Gladiator. Okay, I'm doing a retro review on Gladiator, of course, the 2000 movie classic that put Russell Crowe on the map and made him a household name and shot his star in the stratosphere. And as some of you may have guessed already, I'm doing a retro review of Gladiator because a week from tomorrow, guess what movie comes out? Gladiator 2. Okay, so Gladiator 2 will be coming out a week from tomorrow. So the release date for Gladiator 2 is November 22nd. Okay. So wanted to do my homework, and watch Gladiator again, and just get the ins and outs and the particulars and the details of all the characters before I go see Gladiator 2, before we all go see Gladiator 2. Okay, not just me, but you are going to go see Gladiator 2 when it comes out a week from tomorrow. And but yeah, just got to do our due diligence and rewatch and learn again about Maximus and Lucilla and Marcus Aurelius and Commodus there, and all the characters from the first Gladiator from 2000, and listen to that awesome Hans Zimmer score and just all the things we love about Gladiator. What we do in life echoes through eternity, like all the great lines, right? Husband to a murdered wife, father to a murdered son, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Okay, so great lines from Gladiator, right? And I'm hoping Gladiator 2 has some great lines to it. Early buzz that I've heard, the overwhelming thing that I've heard across the board is Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2 is the highlight of Gladiator 2. He just chews up the scenery and whatnot. So, but we shall see. We'll make our own judgments on how good Denzel Washington is in Gladiator 2. But until then, yeah, we're going to go in the Wayback Machine to 2000, and I'm going to retro review Gladiator. So I'll be doing my spoiler-free. It's kind of weird saying spoiler-free review for a movie that's 24 years old. But yeah, be talking about Gladiator this Sunday on Movies Merica Live, okay? And that comes on at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and 1 Pacific this Sunday afternoon. Movies Merica Live. Check it out. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to do the retro review and do my prep and get my notes and watch Gladiator and crank it up and listen to that Hans Zimmer score again. And are you not entertained? I guarantee it, you will be entertained on Sunday when I do the retro review. And then, of course, that means a week from tonight, I want to see a shitload of people in the live chat. I want to see masses of people being entertained here on this show because, yes, I know probably a lot of people didn't see Heretic and whatnot. I get that. But the movie next week, Gladiator, has been out for 24 fucking years, okay? So I know people have seen Gladiator. Hell, it only won Best Picture, right? So I want to see people. I want to see bodies. I'm not selling that very well, but I want to see all you beautiful people. There we go. In the live chat, talking with me about Gladiator on Sunday, and then a week from tonight on this very show. Movies America spoiler warning. Let's do it. All right, but can't wait. I'm just getting excited all about it, and also getting excited about Gladiator 2. So, I mean, we live in great times, fantastic times. So, love it. And so let's check this out here. I want to do a little house cleaning here, and I think we're good to go there. All right, so what I want to do now here, guys, is I just want to turn you on to some websites that you should definitely check out and save as favorites, okay? And the first one I want to tell you about is solo.to/moviesmerica. And why would you want to go there and save that as a favorite? Well, that is where you can find all the links to anything Movies America. Okay, you can find the link to my X profile, my Facebook profile, Letterboxd, Critic List, Rumble, okay, YouTube, all those places. So you want to save that as a favorite if you haven't already, as your one-stop shop, as an easy way to get to all things Movies America. Okay, so really good, really smart place to go to find the links to my Movies America live episodes that come out on Sundays, like I already mentioned, and my show that comes out on Thursday night that you're watching right now. Okay, so solo.to/movies America. Yeah, just save it in your Google Chrome or your Firefox or Safari or whatever you use there for a browser. All right. And next one is www.moviesmerica.com. Why would you want to go there? Well, that's where you would go if you want to check out like the podcast version of my Sunday spoiler-free review show there. Now, if you want to check out the podcast-only version, you can also go to like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, any place you would imagine you could find podcasts. Now, I will warn you, so these are the podcasts, the audio-only versions of the Sunday show. I will warn you, it's much better to just check out the show on YouTube or Rumble or X, okay? Because those shows are available immediately, okay? Not just immediately, but live, like you're seeing right now, if you're checking me out live. But then even after the live show's over with, they're available immediately on Rumble and X and YouTube. The podcast versions, I have to admit, I have to be honest with you. I've got to be real with you guys. I get bit by the procrastination bug, and sometimes I don't get those posted out there until like maybe almost a week until the episode. So it's better just to watch the episodes there. So, but yeah, I know a really good way of promoting moviesmerica.com there. So, all right, moving on. Just to show you that I am on social media. So I'm on X and Instagram and Gab under @moviesmerica. I'm also on Facebook under @moviesmerica. So you'll find consistently I'm on all these platforms under the handle of @moviesmerica. Okay. And then on if you're trying to find me on YouTube, just search for Movies Space Merica, and you're bound to find one of my episodes. And then if you click on the episode, you'll be able to get to all my other episodes and that kind of thing. Again, another reason to save solo.to/moviesmerica as a favorite, because that's the best way and fastest way and smartest way to get to all my stuff. But I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Gab, I'm on Facebook again. And so if you do go there and you check me out there and you follow me, well, do yourself a favor here and get me to follow you back. And the way you do that is after you follow me on any platforms, DM me on X at my @moviesmerica account. And just let me know, hey, Van, I followed you on Instagram or Facebook or Gab, and I will follow you back on all of those platforms back, okay? So, pardon me, the beer's getting me, so there we go. If you haven't realized at this point, I'm a beer burper, okay? Apparently, I can't drink beer without burping all over the place, so there we go. All right, I know, very interesting. TDPN.locals.com, not going to go over to that too much because that's just went over that a little earlier here. That's where we have all our great articles and blogs and videos about movies and entertainment and politics and cocktail recipes, all that good stuff. So check that out. And then we have our merch store again. I want to mention that. The merch store link is in the description down below. So yeah, grab yourself, a Movies America t-shirt or a shot glass or Movies America yoga pants, all right? But only if you're in shape for yoga pants, all right? So just like I would never buy a Speedo. Well, I don't care. Even if I look like even if I look like Ryan Gosling, I would never wear a Speedo. That's pretty gay. Anyway, but yeah, if you're a woman and you look like you look like the Michelin Man, don't buy the yoga pants. Okay, so do your fellow man and women a favor and be in shape for the yoga pants. But there we go. All right, I know I'm offending so many people right now. I know. All right, and then we have solo.to/Till Death Pod Network. That's where you would want to go if you want a one-stop shop website for all the links that have anything to do with any of the shows on the Till Death Podcast Network, like this show, or Sipping with Sean, or the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast, the Till Death Podcast. Okay, that's a good one-stop shop location for you there. And then moving on, we have solo.to/Till Death Studios. And the reason you would want to go there is so if you're like in the content creation game, like I clearly am, where I have a show and I'm creating content, good or bad, okay? And you do that, and you're like, man, my show is boring. I need some pizzazz. I need some flair. Kind of like, the intro that you saw earlier, like the movie Military Moment, or you see like up at the very top, you got the overlay, says moviesmerica.com, stuff like that. Very cool shit like that to add to your show. If you want that kind of stuff added to your show to enhance it, well, reach out to my man Ian at solo.to/Till Death Studios, and he will hook you up with his skills that pay the bills. But you got to take the first step, okay? You got to go and reach out to him first, and he will hook you up. And then we have solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. That's the website. That's the one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with my man I'm Sean Cav that you saw here in the live chat earlier. And he does a show called Sipping with Sean that is done via X Space every Friday afternoon. Okay. And then he's got other stuff that he has links to in there. Like he's a great bass guitarist, and so he's a musician. He's got music-related stuff in there. He's got books. He just had a new book that just came out that I guarantee you, if you go to solo.to/I'm Sean Cav, you'll find a link to get his latest book there. So that's owe it to yourself to make life easy on yourself if you're looking for all the links that have to do with I'm Sean Cav here on the network there. All right. And then next we have solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist. And you probably are picking up on a pattern here. Okay. These solo.to pages are one-stop shop for links, to whatever, right? And this is the one-stop shop link page to all the links that have to do with that crazy, wacky, and wild The Whiskey Capitalist podcast show that you guys know that comes on Monday and Wednesdays there, and every other Tuesdays. And so this would be a great place to quickly access their past episodes and episodes coming up here in the future. Okay, there we go. And then next, but last but not least, is solo.to/Till Death Podcast. And that's the one-stop shop website for all the links that have to do with the show that started it all. That started out the Till Death Podcast Network, the flagship show known as the Till Death Podcast. And that is a show where my man Ian and his lovely bride Jen, they go over like the latest headlines and hot button topics of the day and politics and funny videos and all that stuff. They discuss them, and they go over it all marinated in their marital mirth. They're busting each other's balls in a husband and wife kind of way. It's very intriguing, very entertaining. And that show comes on every other Saturday afternoon. And an easy way for you to know how to get access to their past episodes, and then how to join their upcoming episodes, is to save solo.to/Till Death Podcast as a favorite. Like they say, work smarter, not harder. And saving these pages as favorites, maybe create a folder called Till Death Podcast Network and save all these pages as favorites in that folder. So I know it's mind-blowing, these suggestions that I'm putting out there for you. But I'm just, that's what we try to do here at Movies America HQ, is I try to make life easy on the audience there, okay? Because that's the kind of guy That's a swell kind of guy I am. I have to admit it. That's a swell kind of guy. There we go. Okay. I know I'm full of shit. I'm full of shit there. So, all right. Well, hey, again, I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of Movies Merica Spoiler Warning, where we discussed Heretic. Whether you're watching it live, if you're still watching it live, how you doing? Thanks for joining. And even if you're lurking, okay, and you're not in the live chat, but especially to everybody in the live chat, you guys went above and beyond. You guys are the champs of the show. You guys weren't just watching. You guys were live chatting. Awesome. Okay. Or if you're watching this later on, I want to thank you for watching this episode. And feel free. Don't be stingy. Don't hog on the Movies Merica for yourself. Feel free to share this show if you would, with anybody that anybody that you even remotely suspects likes movies. There we go. All right. That must be getting near the end. I can't talk. So send the links, hither and yon to whoever you suspect would, like to have access to all my spoiler-free reviews and spoiler-heavy reviews all about movies. Because I guarantee if you look through all my past episodes and all the movies that I've gone through, I guarantee there's plenty of movies you're gonna look through like, oh man, I really want to hear more about that movie there and whether I should go see it. It just popped up on my Netflix queue. Should I watch it? I don't know. If you search for that movie in all my past episodes, I guarantee it, probably pretty good chance I reviewed it. And you can use my episode to either warn you away from the movie or recommend the movie for you to watch. There you go. All right, everybody. So with that here, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey, don't leave yet, okay? I got the police after me, and I got just enough time to ask you to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you would. I'm being handcuffs here pretty soon, anytime, okay? I got just enough time to ask you to also like these or watch these videos and like them as well, okay? All right? Hey, thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network. I gotta go.